Welcome to the E-commerce Alley podcast, where we believe that great brands are built on passionate leadership, smart operations, and of course, powerful marketing. I am your host, Josh Coffee. Like the drink, but more caffeinated is like I like to say. And I want to thank you for listening right now. I never got thanked for listening to a podcast, so I just want to say thank you for listening to a podcast. Now today, we're going to be talking about something that just gets me really excited, and that is 2022. So we're going to talk about how to have your most profitable 2022 ever. Let's do this. I can't believe we are into another year. I have to say, for me personally, January is, it means so much. I love January because it feels like in business, we've been in business now, I've been doing this for almost 10 years, but 8 with our agency. And I have to say, January for me is like this, it's like a fresh start. It's like, we accomplished some goals last year. We didn't accomplish certain things. What are we going to do? How can we reflect on that and make great decisions moving forward? And how can I build a life, a business around the life that I want to have? And so I want to start this year out with one of the very first episodes of the year in January, talking about how you can make this year the most profitable year in your business. Now, I wanna preface this with I'm primarily going to approach this from a marketing standpoint, because marketing is what I do. It's what I love. It's what our team does and loves. And so I'm going to approach a lot of it from that lens. So if you're listening to this is heavy on the marketing side of things, which is going to grow your profits, because marketing is that engine that drives your sales and pulls you and pushes you forward. So I'm going to be covering 5 things today that you can do, very tangible things that you can do to make this the most profitable year for your business ever. So starting with number 1, the first thing that you can do is you can do less, but do it better. In marketing, there are so many things that you can do, which makes it a wonderful, exciting thing, because there are a million strategies out there. You're bombarded with messages about TikTok marketing and SMS and email marketing and Facebook ads and Google Shopping and YouTube. There's social media and SEO, and there's so many things that you can do that what we often do is we try to do everything. The first most common one I would say is every new business owner gets all their social media accounts, and then they start posting a ton on social media. But it doesn't take very long to experience some degree of burnout. But we think we have to keep up with this schedule that we set in the back of our minds, like I'm going to post every single day. And so we try to keep up with that, and we find ourselves burnt out. But here's the truth. Unless you have unlimited resources, you can only afford to do so much. And even if you have a lot more resources in your business, there's an infinite amount of things you can do, and an infinite amount that you can invest money and time-wise into your marketing. And so what we need to do is we need to I'm going to recommend that you pull back. I'm going to recommend you pull back and you do less, but you do it really well. Do it better than you have ever done it before. And I'll give you an example. So I talk to so many business owners every single week through our coaching programs and through our clients, and just talking to people off the cuff all the time. And I always like to ask the question. It's always a fun question. I always ask, how many hours a week do you think you spend on your marketing in your business? And I get ranges from some people do no marketing, and they're usually smaller businesses, and some do spend a lot more time every single week. But I'll tell you, the average amount of hours that business owners tell me they spend on their marketing is about 15. 15 is that average number that we hear business owners say they invest in their marketing per week. That's 60 hours per month. And so 15 hours a week, that's great if you're at least doing $1 million plus in revenue, but I would say a lot of businesses that I talk to are doing less than that, and they're still spending 15 hours a week. And so when you do that, you spread yourself really thin, and it becomes very hard to grow because your time is finite, and you have to be very focused and very intentional with it. So in 2022, do less from a marketing standpoint, but do it better. And here's what I advise you to do. Pick 2 to 3 at the most marketing strategies that you can implement and that you can put your time into mastering and becoming very good at them, and go all in on those strategies, and go in on the ones that are going to create the most impact for your business. And so when you do them, go analyze your current efforts determine what's working and what's not, but then decide 2 to 3 things and say, hey, I am going to commit to going all in on these 2 to 3 things. I'm going to learn to master them. I'm going to invest money in them. I'm going to invest my time in them, and I'm going to try to accomplish the greatest impact on my revenue that I can. But everything else, we're going to put on maintenance mode. So let's say that you looked at all the things that you were doing and what had the most impact. And I'm just going to give you 3 things. So let's say that, or I decided to do 2. Let's say I decided to do 2. And Facebook advertising was one, or Google advertising was one. Paid ads in some capacity. One of those sources is really good. And so I'm going to invest my time and money in that. And the second one is, let's say, email marketing, because that has a very high return on investment. So I'm going to put my efforts into becoming a master at both of those things. I'm going to really, really do this right. Everything else, social media, SEO, attending farmers markets or trade shows, that's all going to go on maintenance mode. Some of those I'm just going to stop altogether, but some things like social media are valuable, so I'm going to do what I call maintenance mode. And this is where you're only if you're posting 7 times a week, post 2 to 3 times a week. If you're posting 3 times a week, at least post 2 to 3 times a week. So you might have to kind of keep with that, but do maintenance mode on everything else. And so when you do that, it allows you to take all this focus that is everywhere else and put it in 1 or 2 or 3 directions. And there's a great book out there called Essentialism. I've probably read it 3 or 4 times. Every time I read it, it just slaps me in the face because I realize I'm not as focused as I should be on the essential things in life and business. But in it, he says, and I'm going to paraphrase this, Greg says something great. He says, if you look at your energy is finite. You only have so much. So would you rather make a millimeter of progress in 1,000 directions, or 1,000 millimeters of progress in one direction, or 1,000 miles of progress in one direction? And so we want to stop doing more for the sake of doing more, because that's something that we read in a blog or watched in a video, and we want to become very, very focused. And then that will grow you to the point of being able to have a team and outsource some of those things, and then start to increase the amount of resources you're investing in additional efforts. And so whenever I'm thinking of anything in business, there are 2 key elements that I live and I breathe by. So when I'm making decisions on what I'm doing, 2 things, 2 key elements. One is resource and the other is impact. Our goal is to accomplish the maximum amount of impact for the least amount of resource. So maximum impact, least amount of resource. And so certain marketing efforts and certain things you do in business and in life in general will have a high impact and a high resource. And some will have a high impact and a low resource. And some will have a lot of resource with a low impact. Good example of that, social media. High amount of resource to do, it's a small to a medium level of impact. And so whenever we're thinking of doing less but doing it better and doing it mastering that, I'm going to look at things that will have the most impact for the least amount of resource. Now, the second thing that you can do to make this the most profitable year ever is to invest in your ads and invest in your email. And so the reason I mentioned those 2 in the focus part of it, in number 1, is because we see those as, we believe that those are the 2 most powerful levers you can pull in your business to have the most impact for the least amount of resource. The time it takes you to send an email to 100 people is the same time it'll take you to send it to 100,000 people. And so it has the ability to scale and take less resource over time and have a greater impact over time. And the same thing with ads. So if you have not yet listened, I'm just gonna promo another episode. If you haven't listened to episode 5, which episode 5 is on paid traffic, if you haven't, on unlocking predictable growth with paid traffic, if you haven't listened to that or watched that, go watch that. It's gonna dive really deep into advertising and paid traffic and how it really applies and the different types of traffic and so forth, because paid traffic is the most predictable way to grow an e-commerce business, period. It is the most predictable way. And so invest in that. Invest in it. Invest in using your resources, meaning your time and your money, into paid advertising. Because if you can really harness the power of it, get it working, it's going to change the whole trajectory of your business. And so paid advertising is the first thing. And the second thing is email marketing. Email marketing, as of the latest benchmarks, which the latest benchmarks we have right now are 2020. The ROI on email marketing for e-commerce is 45 to 1. So every dollar you invest, you'll make $45. Now, that's kind of hard to understand. So the best way I like to put this based on our experience is you can typically generate $1 to $4 per month per person on your email list. So if you have 1,000 people on your email list, you should be able to generate $1,000 to $4,000 per month from your email list. Meaning not everyone goes and gives you $1, but if you sold a $100 product, you're going to have 10 to 40 people go purchase that over the span of a month. Between your automations and your campaigns, you should be able to generate $1 to $4. That's the range we see. Now, $4 is more on the high side if you've really invested and you know what you're doing and your copy is down and you know your audience and you're attracting good people. And 1 is on the lower end when you're just kind of getting going and really ramping up. So $1 to $4 per month, that's the benchmark, which is why email is so important. So what I want you to do, when I say invest, I mean your time and your effort. Your time and your money. So not only you're going to have to financially invest in paid advertising, but you're going to have to invest time into figuring out what works and what doesn't work. Something we like to say is that with paid advertising, it's never a matter of if it works. It's not a matter of if it's going to work for you. It's a matter of what that looks like for your business and when that ends up happening. Meaning what the product offers and funnels look like, what the audiences look like, and what the ads look like, and when that ends up happening. Some things take a little bit of time. Some things hit it right off the bat and they succeed right away. But it's not a matter of if, because paid advertising works. Maybe the platform is different. Maybe maybe your product isn't Facebook friendly or maybe even Google friendly, but you can use programmatic ads, or Facebook doesn't work but Google, or vice versa. So it's not a matter of if paid advertising works, because there are businesses in your industry right now that are crushing it. The question is how? Well, they have invested the time and they have invested the money in figuring out what that looks like, and when that happened was sometime in the past because they figured it out. And so that's the two things that I recommend you invest your time in, you invest your money in. And if you can invest in ads, you'll create a predictable stream of customers and new leads. And then what's going to happen on the back end is email will help you increase repeat purchases from your customers. It'll help you build loyalty, and it will help you nurture leads who have not purchased. It'll help you nurture them to the point of purchasing. I mean, I know e-commerce businesses who have done these two simple things: ads and email and maintenance mode and everything else, to the tune of $5 million a year in revenue before they decided to diversify, or before they actually invested and diversified their marketing efforts. So do not sleep on ads and email. You have to figure it out sometime. Why not figure it out this year? Make this a year that you really invest and you really figure that out. Now, if you're an e-commerce business owner, then you need to join the Ecommerce Alley Facebook group. The group is very incredible. The community is really great. It's our free group where you'll get access to weekly live trainings. You'll get access to marketing strategies, exclusive tools. You have the community. We have resources. We give out, like, speaking of ads, we have a pay-per-click profit analyzer to show you how to identify products that will be profitable from an advertising standpoint, and more. So if you want to join the group, it's absolutely free. Go to alleypodcast.com/group, where you'll be able to just click the join button and get right in the group. Our team will have you accepted typically within 24 hours, and you'll be on your way to more knowledge and more accountability and community. All right, so number 3 of how to make this the best year ever from a profitability standpoint is to position yourself as an outcome-based business. Now, there are two types of businesses. There is a market-based business, and then there is an outcome-based business. And that right there is the difference between businesses that will charge $1.99 for the same product that others charge $19.99. Same product, 10 times more expensive. So what's the difference between these two? Well, market-based businesses price based on the market. Makes sense, right? They're priced based on the market. And outcome-based businesses are priced based on the outcome that they produce. Now, this doesn't always mean like, oh, we're going to save you time or money. It could be the feelings that you will receive as a result of having that. And so, for example, I grew up always having these little tree car fresheners. I think they were literally called little trees. I think that's what it was called. And they were these little, maybe you've had them before. They're these little car fresheners that you could put in your car. And I remember putting them in my 2002 purple Saturn. We called it the Barney Mobile, fun fact. And so we would put these little scent trees, and they were the ugliest things. Like, I mean, they recommended on the baggie, it was like a baggie with a car freshener in it, and you would have to pull it slightly down, and then after 7 days you would pull it down a little more, and after 7 days you'd pull it down a little more, and so that way all the scent didn't just like flow out and make your car smell incredibly strong. They actually made you pull the plastic down, so you would be driving in your car, if you wanted to do it right, you would be driving in your car with this car freshener on your mirror with a bag halfway down it, because you would have to slowly pull it down every 7 days so that all the scent didn't go out. Well, I looked up how much those are now. I just remember they're really cheap. Well, right now you could buy 6 of those for $7. $6.99 is what you could pay for 6 of those. And they said they would last up to 30 days. They never did. It was kind of ugly. You would have this bag kind of hanging from your mirror. It was like the weirdest thing. Or you would be like my brothers and I, and we would just yank the bag off because it was ugly. And then your car would smell like whatever the scent, like like really strong manly scent, like really dense, like really thick to where you got to roll your windows down. Those are the options. Well, on the other hand, there's a company called Drift. And Drift makes car fresheners, and they say they last up to 30 days. But Drift sells 6 of them, not for $6.99. They sell 6 of them for $60 plus shipping, making them nearly 10 times more expensive. Well, how can one be 7 and then one be 60 plus shipping, so maybe it ends up being about 70? How can one be 10 times more? Well, it's because the little trees are priced based on the market. They're priced based on what going rates are. So if the market says $6.99, well, they're going to be at $6.99. If the market says, oh, we're dropping to $4.99, well, you just lost 33% of your margin, almost 30%ish of your margin, because that's what the market's doing. You have to keep up with that. On the other side, though, Drift is outcome-based. Drift, if you go to their website and you look at their copy and you look at the imagery and you look at the packaging and you look at the actual product and how it sits and how you don't have a bag and how cool it looks, and like it's just very rustic, and they have a stone one. And if you look at those aspects of it, the way you feel is way different than when you have a little tree with a plastic baggie hanging on it from your mirror. So Drift is what I would consider an outcome-based business. And so you might be based in the market. Maybe you sell apparel, maybe you sell skincare, whatever that is, whatever you sell, you might say, hey, I'm trying to keep up with the market because the market is saying that I should charge $49.99, so I'm gonna charge $49.99. And I would tell you to question that. Ask why. Why do I need to be a market-based business? Some businesses, maybe you don't have a choice. Like if you're selling toilet paper, there's only so many ways. You can really add a lot of value and charge a lot more. Maybe it's kind of tough, but for the reality is most businesses can become outcome-based, and they could charge more because of the customer experience, because of the packaging, because of the copywriting and the way that the users and the customers will feel when they're using the product. And if you can really pay attention to that, it makes a 10 times difference. For example, I love CrossFit. And in CrossFit, there's this brand called No Bull. Actually, my backpack's over there, but I have a No Bull backpack, and I love it. It's super tough. The backpack was like $170. I could go buy a $29.99 backpack that does the exact same functionality. But when you wear No Bull, like you just feel tough. Like you're just like, this is sweet. My buddies are all wearing No Bull. The material is way different. It has this little patch on the shoulder. It has so many pockets for like meal prep, for jump ropes, for grips, for clamps, for everything that I need for what I do. And it's very personalized, it's specialized, and it accomplishes the same functionality. The only difference is it's 5 to 6 times more expensive. It's the same reason MacBooks cost 1.5 to 2 times more expensive, more than most PCs, because MacBooks elicit this feeling of prestige. Regardless of what you think, that's really what happens. You feel different. Lots of people that buy MacBooks feel different about Apple than about PC, which is why a lot of people say it's kind of like a cult. Just like CrossFit is like a cult, is what a lot of people will say. Why are Mclarens 20 to 30 times more expensive than a Honda Odyssey minivan? They both accomplish the same outcome. They both accomplish transportation from A to B. But one says, look at me, and the other one says, I'm here to pick up my kids. So like that's the difference between those. You have a market-based, minivans can only charge so much, but outcome-based, the feelings, the authority, the power, whatever that is, whatever that is, it's driving an outcome that person will feel as a result of buying that. That's why people pay for more expensive products. Gucci will be one price, and a purse from Walmart will be a completely different price. So outcome could include, hey, you're gonna have better skin, better hair, you're gonna feel cool, your muscles are gonna be big, you're gonna love the way you look in this piece of clothing, you're going to lose weight, you can save time or money, there's convenience factor, there's the happiness factor by having something. So these are all things that you can use in your messaging to create an outcome-based business. So I wanna challenge you to look at your business and say, if I charge $20 for this product, why couldn't I charge $30? Why couldn't I charge $40? Why couldn't I do that? Why do I have to price with what I might believe the market is at? Why can I not create pricing and create an outcome that is desired by my ideal customer that would allow me to do that? How can I improve my customer experience, my packaging, and my messaging? So market-based businesses sell on what the product is, and outcome-based businesses focus on why the product should be purchased and how you'll feel as a result of purchasing that product. So that is number 3. You need to position yourself as an outcome-based business as much as you possibly can. And you might be surprised that you actually can, do that if you sit down and you take the time. Number 4 on how you can make 2022 your most profitable year ever. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. It's so easy. It's so easy to be in the grind of what I'm doing every single day that we don't invest in ourselves. We don't educate ourselves further in crucial components in crucial areas of our business. Happens to me all the time. I'm guilty of it. Everybody's guilty of it. The good thing is you're listening to this right now. And you're developing, you're furthering your own development. You're investing in yourself with time right now. But invest in yourself. Invest in learning Facebook ads or Google ads or email or social media or whatever that is, or operations or product development or leadership, whatever that is that you believe is bottlenecking right now, you in your business, you need to go and invest your time, and you need to invest your money in it. If you're bottlenecking at your website, there's issues on your website, invest in improving your website conversion. If you're building a team right now and you're really, really struggling to get your whole team on the same page and get everyone working in tandem and really flowing in a way that doesn't involve you in every single aspect and that you don't have to go approve and give feedback on everything, if that's where you're bottlenecking, invest in your team, invest in your leadership capabilities, take a course, buy a book, hire a coach, attend an event, do what you need to do to invest in yourself so that you can open up that bottleneck. If you're bottlenecking at marketing, look at your marketing and say, where am I bottlenecking? If it's new customer acquisition, then I need to figure out how to acquire customers. That's what I need to invest in. I need to invest in Facebook advertising. I need to invest in understanding social media better, or understanding conversion rate optimization better. So invest in yourself. I promise you, it won't kill you. It won't kill you. In fact, you'll be if you were to invest, like, let's say marketing, which I know so many businesses struggle with. If you're to invest in your own marketing, in your own time into learning it better and not just writing it off and saying, oh, that's not my forte. I'm a visionary. I can't do that. If you actually invested your time, you'll realize that you're probably the best marketer for your business, because nobody loves your business or knows it as much as you. And I think it's so easy to delegate and elevate. If you're doing less than $100,000 a month right now, like if you are listening and you're doing less than $100,000 a month in your e-commerce business, you should not be hiring an agency, and you should not be hiring somebody in-house. I'm telling you right now, it's too early. It's too early. You can manage your way to $100,000 a month in revenue doing your own marketing, but you have to be efficient at it. You have to invest in becoming a master of that. It doesn't mean you're going to do it forever, but for right now, If you're doing 100,000 a month in revenue and you have good margin, you'll be able to hire someone in-house or hire an agency and really, really justify it. This year, I'll give you an example. This year, I hired a nutrition coach to help me get in the best shape I've ever been in my life by holding me accountable, by educating me on stuff that I never knew, meaning just shortening my path to success from a food and nutrition standpoint, and being my guide and accountability coach along the way. Because it's easy to become complacent. It's easy to throw up our hands as if nothing works and just say, hey, I've tried Facebook ads and it doesn't work, and I've tried this and it doesn't work. And it's easy to just throw in the towel. That's the easy thing to do. The hard thing to do is to become better. Jim Rohn, I love Jim Rohn. I used to listen to Jim. I mean, I haven't listened to it in a little bit, but I will say I love Jim Rohn. I used to listen to him almost every single day. And he had this one thing. He had one statement, a lot stuck with me. But one thing he always said was, Jim Rohn always said, don't wish things were easier, wish you were better. Don't wish things were easier, but wish that you were better, and then make yourself better. Go make yourself better. It's not just going to happen. You don't just wake up and be like, oh, I'm better. Oh, I understand advertising. Oh, I understand whatever that is. You don't just wake up and say, oh, I'm a better leader today. No, you have to invest. Read a book. Go to a seminar. Attend a webinar. Buy something. Hire a coach. Do that. It'll make you better, and it'll make your business better. So, speaking of investing in yourself, if you are an e-commerce business owner that wants to dive deep into the frameworks and the precise tactics it takes to double your revenue in half the time, in a more efficient way than you're currently spending on your marketing, in a more efficient way than you're currently doing, and actually have tangible results with coaching and accountability along the way, then you need to consider joining our brand new Max Profits Mentorship. The Max Profits Mentorship it's the mentorship program that we offer for e-commerce business owners that are doing less than $100,000 in revenue. Now, why is that the threshold? That's the threshold because we've learned up until $100,000 a month in revenue, you can actually manage your own marketing and scale very, very profitably and not give up your profits to an agency or to an in-house hire that you have to spend a ton of time bringing up to speed and constantly overseeing. And if you could do it more efficiently, you'll find something interesting. You have more time and better results. So you have more time to invest in your business and growing and product development and things that you need while you're growing. So inside it, you'll learn everything you need to know to take you from where you're at to being a successful, profitable, and scaling e-commerce business, regardless of where you're starting. In fact, a few days ago, I took a screenshot of this on my phone. I'm gonna read this off. A few days ago, one of our Max Profits mentorship clients posted this on Facebook. Zach said, when we first launched our business, to our friends and family, who were wildly supportive, we sold $12,000 of candles in 3 months. Then things slowed down. The first quarter, we did $12,000. The second quarter, we did $2,700. And the third quarter, we only did $400 in sales. Enter Josh Coffey and his team. I found Josh through Facebook ad, took a risk, and invested in his program. And in the 6 months pre-Josh, pre-MPM, we made a whopping $3,000. But within 60 days of joining the MPM, we've done over $9,500 in sales, sold over 300 of our products, set up email automation, had ads converting, and we're shipping out faster than we could make. In fact, we turned off our ads before Christmas so we could relax for a hot minute before January picked back up. I want to celebrate this year for expansion in our lives. Because of this business, we're saving for our second home in Florida and hope to move in the next 1 to 2 years to Snowbird, somewhere warm, while having a family at home in Ohio where we live. Josh and his team are awesome, and anyone that has questions about working with him should ask him and take the leap. Wow. That gave me chills. I was just reading that. That's amazing. Like, that's so much joy I got when I read that. Like, we have testimonials like that all the time. So if you want to learn more about the Max Profits Mentorship Program, go to alleypodcast.com/MPM to see testimonials, see how it works, and then schedule a free call to see if it's right for you. So to close us out, I'm going to give you the fifth and final thing. And this is a little bit more tactical on the marketing side. The fifth and final thing to make 2022 your most profitable year ever. And so this is based on our experience in all the ad management and all the marketing services that we provide to our clients and what we're also seeing within our Max Profits mentorship community. So number 5 is to focus more on lead gen and not only purchases. So focus on growing your list. Make this a priority. It's easy to become really passive and just wait around for cart abandonments to happen or wait around for visitors to come to our website and join our pop-up or take 10% off the first order or whatever that is. It's very easy to wait around for that. And so the 5th thing that you could do to make this year an incredible year is to focus more on lead generation and not only purchases. Now, from an advertising standpoint, most campaigns, we often run for purchases, but we recommend that you take 10% to 15% of your budget to go in on lead gen. We want to grow our leads. Yes, e-commerce businesses need leads. You can call them subscribers, whatever you want. We call them leads. Anyone who's not a customer, we call a lead. They're a potential customer that is leading to that. And so you need to focus on generating more leads. Because the other thing too is if you sell through, this is really important. If you sell through platforms like Amazon or Etsy, you already know how frustrating it is to not own the relationship with your customers or own all the data on your customers. And so what we want to do is we want to start to own some data within our own platform. And so lead gen is a good entry point for people who aren't ready to buy yet. And so this is important because email lists decay. And organically, you're going to lose 15 to 20% of your email list every single year. So you need to replace that with new subscribers, with new leads. And by doing that, you're going to own the relationship and it will allow you to nurture them, to indoctrinate them to your brand, to show them the outcomes they will experience as a result of becoming your customer and by buying your products. And when you have them in your system, you have them in your system. You can email them. Remember when I mentioned the average we see is $1 to $4 per month per subscriber? This includes leads. So if you're growing your email list by 2 or 5 people a day right now, you'll drastically increase your revenue every single month over month, if you were growing your email list by 50 people per day. And there's so many ways to do that. And so we want to be growing our email list. It gives us data, it gives us control, especially when, we don't control the ad platforms, we don't control the social media algorithms, but we do own our email list. And since the dawn of digital marketing, email has continued to be the highest ROI form of marketing. And so really, really invest in growing your base of leads and non-customers. And I'm going to give you 2 ways that we recommend doing this. One way, and I've talked about this a little bit before, in episode 3, we had an episode on how to grow your email list by 300 or more people per day. We have some people doing 600, 700, 1,000 plus people per day to their email list in the form of giveaways. Now, we have a whole 5-day little boot camp that we do on this. It's real cheap. I don't know what the price is right now, but it's real cheap. Just go spend 20 or 30 bucks, whatever it is. Go through it. And in those few days, you'll be able to launch an entire giveaway that starts growing your email list by at least, the average we see is 331 people per day. So that's one way. You utilize giveaways because those work organically, but then they also work really, really well with advertising. There's a whole viral component to it. So you can check that out. Go to alleypodcast.com/giveaway and check that out. That's the first way we usually recommend growing your email list. The second way is by taking what your pop-up offer is right now on your website, or taking some kind of an offer that you've run or a promo that you have run in the past, and then running that on Facebook ads as a lead gen ad. So most people will offer, I'm going to give you a really common one, 10% off your first order, 20% off your first order. That's really, really common. So you can take that and you can run an ad on Facebook to your target audiences, and you can run that ad to say, hey, take 20% off your first order and fill out this form in order to get it. So they don't have to go to your website and then see a pop-up. They'll literally just click it. And if you ran it as a lead gen form, they don't even leave Facebook, which, by the way, gives us 100% tracking attribution because they're not leaving Facebook. So that whole iOS 14 losing attribution, we don't lose that. They can enter their email and their name and whatever else you want from them on the Facebook form, and then you can have the thank you page redirect them to your store to start shopping. And so by doing this, we're getting leads for $1 less than $1, depends on the season and what the promo is, but you'll be getting leads that they wouldn't want 20% off unless they were actually interested in buying whatever the products you have are. And so we do this all the time. It works really, really well. It's really, really cheap to run. You can run I don't care if you run $10 a day on this. Run $10 a day, run $20, run $100, depending on your budget, run 10% to 15% of your budget into lead gen ads. And this is a really, really easy one. You don't have to build a landing page. All you have to do is integrate it with your email tool, and it's going to start adding people. And I'll give you a tip. One thing that we see work really, really well, rather than like 20% off or 10% off, is we see a free gift with purchase do very well. People love free stuff. And so if you're giving them a small, lightweight, additional free product in addition to their purchase, you're going to get a significant amount of opt-ins. And these are buyer intent opt-ins. They wouldn't want a free gift with purchase if they didn't know they had to purchase. They wouldn't want 20% off if they didn't know they had to purchase. So these aren't just like leads that have no intent. These are people that would only do that if they had the intent to purchase. Again, email marketing, 45 to 1 ROI. Invest in it. Make sure you're primed to capitalize on your email marketing this year. And as you're doing that, you need to continue growing it. So before I said invest in your ads in your email, well, to make that email more and more impactful week over week, month over month, you need it to be growing. And so focus more on lead gen and not only purchases, because not everybody is ready to purchase right now. So to recap today's session, and I know this is a little bit longer, but this is very, very important stuff, and I appreciate you hanging out with me here. So the first thing you need to do is to do less, but do it better. The second is to invest in ads and email. The third is to position yourself as an outcome-based business versus market. The fourth thing is to invest in yourself, your time in and your money in yourself. And the fifth thing is to focus on more lead gen and not only purchases, because not everybody is ready to buy from you right now. You've been listening to the E-Commerce Alley podcast. This podcast has been produced by the legendary behind the scenes Dylan Counts, and you can find the show notes for this along with additional resources and things that I have mentioned today at alleypodcast.com. And please drop a review on whatever app you're listening on. And on behalf of the entire team over here, we want to thank you for being our listener, and thank you for making the world a better place with your business. We will see you soon.